healthcare stocks. Obviously, healthcare is the biggest sector in the economy. So there's a lot of different healthcare companies.
Yeah.
So which healthcare companies do you recommend investing in?
Of course, Eli Lilly. I like Novo a lot. Once again, less is more. There are a lot to pick from potentially. Humana is another good one. Illumina is okay, but Amgen, Eli Lilly, Novo are the ones that I liked. Pfizer, they've lost their way along the way. I don't know what happened. They lost the rights to their Viagra drug and just fell apart. I don't know what happened to them. But if I had to pick three, and for the record, if tech was not my main sector that I was investing in, healthcare would be it. Lilly would be number one. As of now, Novo would be number two. Amgen will probably be third in like the pharma space. You also have Stryker, which is a phenomenal company that I've talked about endlessly. I don't think it's talked about enough. And then if you want a dark horse, Vertex Pharmaceuticals is a company you can look at, but it has to be at the right price. But if I have to like bet my life on just one, Lilly, hands down. I know the GLP drugs are having some pushback and they have some things they need to fix, but Eli Lilly is incredibly run. Always been quiet in their executive management. They've always been incredibly focused. Great recruiting, great development of drugs. The organization is impeccable. They're like Belichick before time and Bill start to get into it. Listen, Rashad, I'm gonna give you some credit. Bill's been real likable on these podcasts.
Shout out to Billy.
He's been real likable. So
he's doing prospects now.
Billy Bell.
I'll see how you got that 22-year-old.
I seen him at Cam. I said, "Oh, okay,
okay." Bro, you got a little personality. Okay, you may have put some swag on Brady. My bad. We're talking.
He had the cut off sweater with the hoodie, man.
Shout out to Billy B.
I'll throw another one in there for you, Ian. I spoke about it probably for the past 3 years, and that's Thermo Fisher. I think is not mentioned enough. Not mentioned enough.
Monster.
If you look at its chart, it's incredible. If you understand what their business is inside of healthcare, anytime there's a drug that needs to be capsulized, it needs to be shipped, they're part of that process. TMO is definitely one. If you're looking into the healthcare space, that should be on there. It's in my top 5 for sure. But another way, and we spoke about the SPDR Fund XLV, is there. Go look at the allocations.
Yep.
Everything that you just named,
it tells you.
It's right there. If these funds are if they're they have a percentage of 5% or more, these are the companies that they're looking at for the future inside those sectors. So definitely TMO added to your list.
Yeah, and in XLV and the Vanguard version, once a month, go check on the allocation. And people are like, well, how do you know that this is? Once I got hip to NVIDIA and I bought the chips and I start seeing them to be in other funds, I'm like, it's only a matter of time. You can see what OpenAI right now. The kind of press that Sam is getting, you can't pay. Oh, he was on with Oprah prime time. I'm like you message me, then my mom messages me. If you can't see in the 2030s, that's going to be OpenAI's era, mistake. Microsoft got it.
Yeah. All right.
150 billion, right?
Who decides war?
150 billion.
Who decides war? Good question.
I don't know. I'm two little jackets. I'm gonna wear my date night though, boy.
Fire.
When I put that shit on.
Fire. I'm going to war.
That's a great question though, Rashad. Who decides? Who
decides war?
Good
question.
Tough.
Good question.
Yeah.
Amazon. Okay. Do you think that Amazon has the potential to break over 200 by the end of the year?
I don't know about end of year, but I definitely see it in 2025. Great company, rebounded well, don't have any major competition. Jack Ma's still quiet, so that's the only piece on the chessboard I'm worried about is Alibaba. I think they've done incredibly well. Of course, they can make the profit margins better, but from a market share standpoint, who is the nearest competitor? Like Instagram hasn't figured out that shop thing, how TikTok has. So Meta isn't a threat yet. Will be soon. Give it 3 or 4 years. But Amazon is poised to do well over the next 3 or 4 years. But if Meta gets that shop format down, and get people accustomed to buying off of that platform, it is game over.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, especially today. It got downgraded. I don't even know the last time I saw it being downgraded. Yeah, Wells Fargo analyst downgraded it to one.
Wells Fargo, y'all do all that thieving and downgrade a company better than you. Make it make sense.
But they said the reason is that it got downgraded is that their investment into the satellite internet business, they haven't seen any return on that yet. When you spoke about competition, they said the closest competition is Walmart, and what that's doing inside the e-commerce space as well as healthcare. So that would be the closest competition. And then obviously the cloud service, we know AWS, and I feel like every quarter we talk about AWS.
Have to.
But that lead, every time we talk about it, it's getting smaller and smaller when we talk about Microsoft and Google in the cloud space. Yes, it still leads. Is it enough? I think so. I think Amazon is I still would say it's my favorite company to invest in, just because it can touch multiple different industries and come in and dominate and literally take over industries. I still like it for that standpoint. Downgrade, I'm not sure I would do it. This is why the analyst did it, but I definitely 200 by next year for sure. Maybe not at January 1st, 2025, but at some point in the first 2 quarters, it'll be at 200.
Yeah.